Why Julius Malema supports Palestinians and not Israel? That is the question we will be discussing with you in this video, and we have some facts that make Julius Malema to support Palestine and not Israel. Well, guys, as you all know that the war that Israel imposed on Palestine, it is different to the one that we see between Ukraine and Russia. And when you look on the whole, I mean the whole world leaders, how they are positioning themselves about this war, you will see that the one of Palestine that Israel had imposed on Palestinians, it had make each and every leaders around the world, each and every country to position themselves, whether you are with Israel or you are with Palestine. And at the beginning of this war, we saw on how some people, some countries, some leaders, they were busy supporting Israel until at a certain time of period, they end up changing their mind. They now want to start supporting Palestine. And we had to know also what is the point of view of Africans in all this, and what sides Africans have to cite themselves. So in order for us to understand some of the reasons that make Julius Malema to not support Israel but supporting Palestine, we first have to understand that Julius Malema is a Pan-African, and everything he has been doing so far is to make sure that it has to be something which has to benefit Africa in one way or another. And for that reason, Julius Malema have to find also a way to associate or find a easy way to support Palestine. But how can him support Palestine and leave Israel, which is supposed to be known as the nation of God or people of God, because we know that Jesus was a Jew, many prophets in the Bibles, they came from all that side. And today, instead of all the Christians or everyone trying to support Israel, but they are busy turning their backs against Israel. Well, in this video, we're going to find that, guys. So as we are continuing, I'm inviting you first to make sure that you give us your thumbs up, like this video in your numbers, so that many more people can come and join us as we discussing about all these matters. I see Trophy Branch. So, guys, you know, one thing I know for sure is that in this world, there are certain countries or certain leaders, they can't survive without bringing conflict among other nations. And you know to whom I'm referring to. These countries, they can't have a strong economy if there is no conflict somewhere out there in one of the alliance countries. So in order for them to last, they need to put some trouble, they need to put some fire in the mountain, so that they'll be coming there, showing up as people who can bring solution to whatsoever these other nations they might be fighting for. And here I'm referring to the US, France, British, all these nations that you know them. So they've been doing all these things for some times. And they went on, they started with, I'm not referring to other nations that have passed back then. I'm just talking about the most recent countries that which have been involved in conflict that has been created by the West power. So they went to Ukraine. They say whatsoever they're supposed to say or promising to Zelensky. He believed in them, he trusted them, and then the next things we saw what has been happening over there. They did their campaign in Ukraine against President Vladimir Putin, so that the world will see Vladimir Putin as a demon who killed innocent people and sees them as the right people who get to respect the life of humanity. And then it was all matter of time for the world to understand that this war, it was not all about Russia and Ukraine, but this war, it was all about the US fighting Russia. And as I have told you before, that US can't leave the America continent to go into another continent in order for them to fight someone that was going to make them look like a bad people, that was going to make them not have a lot of supporters as we've been seeing it. Now, USA, they had to go and use one of the neighboring country to Russia in order for them to put this fire or raise up this conflict between these nations. When they went there, they went on and promised Ukraine government that they'll make them join the NATO nations. They'll raise up the economy. They'll give them the funds. They'll do a lot of things. They say that they'll protect them against Russia and Vladimir Putin to not touch them. They even promised them saying that we'll make you become a powerful nation so that Russia, they won't have any kind of influence on you because you will be associated to the US, France, British, Italy, so on and so on, all those countries which are being founded inside NATO. Okay, fine. Unfortunately for Zelensky with his government, they approved that. And they did everything they were doing. Until today, that's another story we'll leave for another day. But nothing good have come out of it. Instead, all we get to see is on how the US now, they are running away from sponsoring this war, which they had invaded in Ukraine. Now they are running away. They can't give Ukraine funds. They can't support Ukraine with any weapons because the House of members of Senate in America, they refuse. Now it is a battle between the Republican and Biden's administrative. They are now fighting because they feel like they are not benefiting anything in this war. And for those who always watch us time to time, I have told you this before, saying that the reason why they are stopping funding Ukraine is not because they don't have money to give to Ukraine. They are doing this because they are not benefiting much as they could have been benefiting in African countries. These people, they are more used to always have a last word to say when it comes to African matters because they know at the end of the day, they'll have something which they'll have to benefit from one of these African countries. For an example, like African minerals, whatsoever could it be. So now with Ukraine, it's not the case because Ukraine does not have any natural resource. Ukraine, they are blessed with food, for an example, but USA, they already have enough food for them. So they are not gonna really benefit much if it is not something which has to do with the minerals. And that is the reason why they feel like, okay, we have spent enough already in this war, and it is about time we turn our back and do something else. That's the reason why you are seeing them. They are trying now to distance themselves from Ukrainian. And whenever Ukraine try to put more pressure on them, trying to remind them of what they have said before, the reason they are giving is to say that no, the good things is that you have to go and try to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. On the other side, Vladimir Putin is even more determined, willing to negotiate, but they have to, the negotiation, the whole negotiation, it had to comply with what Russia want to benefit from all this. Because remember, whether we like it or not, the fact that Russia continued to resist against all these nations in Ukraine, it had also make them spend a lot of billions of US dollar. A lot of money has been destroyed, I mean, it has been spent already. So if Russia have to agree to terminate this war today, they have to be that guarantee shows that they'll get each and every cent that they have spent in this war. Because at the end of the day, I believe they will also be asked to help Ukraine fix whatsoever they have damage over the family victim of the family which have been killed, or the buildings, the road, the power stations, everything that they have destroyed in Ukraine. I believe they'll ask them to pay it. So Russia is not gonna also just agree to negotiate when they know that they don't have that money to go and fix all those damage. So We shall wait and see what will happen. But guys, back now to the question I ask: why Julius Malema supports Palestinians and not Israel? Well, in all this, the reason why I first speak a little bit about what is happening between Ukraine and Russia is because we saw something very strange that really happened, which expose actually the hypocrisy of the West powers. I'll explain. So what happened is that this West power, in whatsoever happened in Africa, whatsoever Africans are going through, whether it is with their economy, whether it is with their numbers of unemployment or anything that can affect any of African country, these people, they never come in their numbers in solidarity with people of Africa. They never had that courage at least to come and say that, no, look, because this country in Africa, they are going through this, it is about time we do this so that we can help them. They don't do that. But we only see them, we saw them showing this love when it comes to Ukraine and Israel. And forgetting that we are all human beings. And what they've been doing in all this is to make sure that they have to come and impose you the choice. Let's say, for an example, Israel is fighting Palestine. Because them they choose to be with Israel, they are expecting the whole world, each and every country, each and every leader, to go ahead and start supporting their decision. That is something that they've been doing all this time. And when you look in the position of most of Africans, they end up realizing that no, we can't always be there to support these people of what they really want to do. But when it comes to African matters, no one positions themselves. No one shows some support that can help Africans feel like they're not alone on their own. I can give you a very easy example, which we also recently, when the two generals in Sudan, they were busy fighting over the power. They're trying to challenge each other to see which one is going to take over the power. Do you guys still remember what USA did with their citizen over there? Do you guys still remember what British embassy with the ambassador did also over there? Do you guys still recall of what France did? These countries, the moment when this conflict started between the two generals in Sudan, instead of them coming and try to put their ideas together and see on how they can calm these two different camp of militaries, so that they can come with a peace solution that will benefit each and every individuals which is founded inside Sudan borders. Guess what they did? USA, the first things they consider as a priority, they send about 5 airplanes for it to go over there and fetch each and every US citizen who was within the border of Sudan. We saw British. They did the same. They only identify their own citizen or tourists who were over there. They take them, they bring them home. France did the same. France even went far to start even judging some of the French nationalities who are Sudanese, original from Sudan. Just because you are having a black color, just because you are a black, then they have to doubt you. You have to prove them that you are a citizen of France before you get to receive a help from them. What about people of Sudan? Who thought of them? Who even think of them? So you see for yourself that these people, their priority was to make sure that they fetch each and every citizen of their country and then leave Sudanese, so that they'll end up killing themselves, because the life of Sudanese does not matter in their eyes. Guys, do you have an idea that as we are talking right now, There is already a civil war which is ongoing in Sudan, where one tribe which support this general and they're busy fighting against another tribe which is be supporting the other general, and yet no one is talking about it. When it comes to African affairs, they are having a close blind eye. No one is trying even to have a conversation about it. We're having many countries in Africa which are going through a lot conflict, because the conflict that I'm talking about, which is taking place in Sudan, it's a conflict that goes regional. It affects almost all those countries which are over there. Chad, Mali, there's a couple of countries which are over there that if there is a conflict here, another country will have to come and take over the same situation. But these people, they never bother to make sure that they bring peace in Africa. They never send aids that Africans need. But in Ukraine, all we saw, they will send millions of money over there. They will send food. They will even open their borders. Yes, we saw the European countries opening their borders to welcome every citizen of Ukraine. But when it comes to Africans, they don't want. They have to send these Africans back home. They have to leave them in such kind of risk, because the life of an African child does not matter to them. So this is something that have make African leaders end up realizing that no, we can't go ahead and keep on supporting these people. Guys, please make sure that you are liking this video. I'll appreciate that. Give us your thumbs up, because we want many more people to join us through this live. So as I'm saying, African leaders, they were like, no, we can't. And now, when they start going through the United Nations to impose sanctions against Russia, they want the same Africans that they don't consider with their value. They want those African countries to go and support them. That is the reason why you guys saw almost all the African countries, besides South Africa, which is supporting Russia more officially, for the obvious reasons, because we know that South Africa with Russia, they are all in BRICS countries. So the rest of African countries, they never want to give their side. They prefer to remain neutral. Yes. And that neutral, deep down, according to our results that we are having, African leaders, obviously, they stand with Russia, but they don't want to make it more official. And that is the same thing they did when it comes to Israel and Palestine. They want to apply the same strategy of them going and imposing Africans that they should go to the side of Israel. And at first we saw some of African leaders, they will be supporting Israel. President Ruto of Kenya supported Israel, until when Julius Malema told him the truth, and the men end up changing the following day, start condemning what Israel is doing to Palestine. We're having a couple of presidents, especially those who are Christians, for them, because you know this war of Israel and Palestine, a lot of people, they kind of like feeling pity for them to sympathize with Israel, because they believe that it is the nation of God, and God said that whoever will try to fight you, I will destroy them, blah, 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 blah. But in the reality, when we look the Israel, the one from the Bible, to the one that we're having today, there's nothing which has to do with God there. There is nothing which has even to do with the Bible scriptures over there. Because this Israel now, it is in the control of the US. The US, they're the one who are manipulating this Israel. They're the one who are telling them what to do, what to say, how to do things, and so on and so on. So it needs someone who have a vision to understand this. It needs someone who can understand that we don't need to support Israel because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. So when African leaders, they were busy supporting Israel, Julius Malema he is and he was the only one who had the courage to speak it even louder, making more sure that whoever want to follow his step or his point of view, then they should have the courage also to speak it louder. He did not want African leaders to make mistake like the one they did with Ukraine and the Russia war, whereby they say that they don't want to be involved in all this, but at the same time, they are the one who are having a side to take in all this. So Julius Malema, he accepted to support Palestinians for these obvious reasons that I'll be touching point by point. Point number one, the example that I just give to you about on the treatment which the West power have reserved to Africans for all these years, whereby when Africans were going through something, they don't support us. They don't talk about it in their medias. They don't show that willing to stop the conflict in Africa, because I have told you many times that there's nothing good we can expect from these people, because their wishes is to make sure that Africa remain in this power so that them will continue benefiting, because they know very well that the day Africa will stand on their own, they are done. They will never gonna survive without Africa. So they never get to support Africa with all this the conflict that we're having, Boko Haram, rebellions, terrorist groups or attack here and then. Instead, whenever they want to show up in America, in Africa continent, they come only with things like, you guys, you must learn on how to respect human life. They come with idea to come and impose gay and lesbian marriage on Africans, which is not even part of the culture of Africans. Something that Africans, they have not even believe in it yet. Because in order for you to practice something, you need to believe in it. So looking in Africa, around Africa, gay lesbian marriage is not something which is not being approved. Let us not beat around the bush. I'm sorry if there is any who's following us, but that is how the nature has been shows us so far, that no, these things is not, is something new, that it's that one tablet that they are trying to force African to swallow, and yet they keep on rejecting it. So those are the kind of the campaign, the kind of things that they like to do. When they come in Africa, they are willing even to put a lot of money. You guys, you saw it in Uganda, when President Museveni was about to sign the gay and lesbian bills. You guys, you saw on how they stand against him, threatening the whole Ugandan government, saying that they'll put serious sanctions on them. For an example, Madam Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, I watched her through an interview. That woman, she's banned. She can't go anywhere. If she want to travel, she can go to the countries that has nothing to do with America. Why? Because they put sanction on her, and they froze all assets that she had in Europe and somewhere else, house, cars, all because she approved this law to be voted in the parliament. They went on and threatened Uganda that they'll put sanction on them, that they'll cancel the MasterCard, they'll remove Google from Ugandans. All this because these are something that they want to impose on Africans. So they are willing to put even money on the table for that. But when it comes to serious problems that Africans we've been facing all these years, they are not concerned. When it comes that Africans, they are busy killing one another, and we need maybe them to come in and bring a good solution which have to bring peace, they are not concerned, because them, they want that. So Julius Malema have understand that already. And then it's like, okay, they are saying that we should support Israel because the Hamas group decided to go in Israel and bombed Israel. But let us just try to think together. Who's the mastermind behind all this? Hmm? Who's the really mastermind behind, who's the actually the motivation behind all this, if it is not the US? So Julius Malema understand that the US is behind all this. And everything which has to do with the US, well, count me out. I can't be part of it. I can't be part of it because the men understand already how the West work. And that is the reason why you guys saw it was very harsh on President William Ruto of Kenya, telling him that, no, I don't know you anymore. I don't recognize you. Because things that you were saying during your campaign, before you came in power, things you used to talk about Africa, how you want to fight the Western power by eliminating their dollar as the trading currency and come up with the African currency. And what you're doing today, it does not match anymore. Do you know why? Because Julius Malema understood that, okay, President William Ruto, he might have a good intention to help Africa develop, but at the same time, he's still collaborating with our former colonizers. He's still welcoming them in the red carpet. He's still dining there with them at the same table. He's still like having calls, having serious conversation with them. And therefore, it does not make sense for him to go and support this kind of a person, because he believed that everything which has to do with the West leader or country behind it, then there's nothing good will come out of it. That was the reason why Julius Malema decided to go with Palestine. But was that all? No. Another point is that they had to come, impose them things on how to live. They had to come and tell them that, no, you can't live here, you can't build here, you can't do 1, 2, 3 things into your own country. And Julius Malema have understand that the mission of Israel is to delete Palestine from the map. Because if they succeed to do that, at least it's going to make things easy for them. And they've been doing that for some times now. So, seeing Israel attacking Palestine, I myself here at Cool Buzz TV, I have told you before that I'm not buying the story which they are saying that, no, it was a mass group which had attacked Israel first. Okay, let's just even say that it is true that, no, it is a mass group which had attacked Israel first. What? Excuse me. Why Israel? They did not ask the Palestine government to locate or found this Hamas terrorist group and bring them to the to justice. Why do they have to jump in and start killing innocent people? Because, Alisa, because what happened is that if you look to what Prime Minister of Israel, the man before he started attacking Palestine, he had said it before. He said that we are going to attack, and we are going to do it in a very hard way. We are going to hit it in a very hard way so that all our enemies around the world, they'll know that you don't mess up with Israel. That already is a sign of showing that these people, they knew what they were doing all this time. Yes, because, guys, we all know that Israel is #1 in the world when it comes to the Secret Service. Not even the United States of America with their FBI can beat Israel when it comes to Secret Service. You can check around, they will tell you. So Israel, they're very good. They usually even invite them in other countries for them to go and train other nations on how to become a proper Secret Service agent. And then this Israel government, they are waking up one day and telling us that, no, they've been attacked by terrorists. They've been attacked by terrorists that they did not even see, or they were not aware about it. Because we also recently, the US when they receive the threat or the alarm that there is some Yemen terrorist group which have entered the US soil, and they are planning to attack in different places like government manufacturers, water, electricity, and internet cybers. You saw that the Secret Service, they came and destroyed this plan before even it happens. They alert the whole nation, which means if it was a plan for it to take place in 2 days, it's not gonna take 2 days. It's not gonna take against a place in 2 days again, because the plan already failed. So how come Israel, which is known as number one of Secret Service, how professional they are, and yet they are not able to see Hamas? That is where I've been questioning this so-called Hamas thing. It is what, for me, according to me, or according to my own understanding, I believe it was all planned. Yes, they planned for it, and they're like, okay, in order for us to have a easy access to bring conflict in this Arabic region, we need to go through Israel, because Israel have already problems with Palestine. And now that they're there, you guys, you can see even in their news when they're talking about on how now it is all about US and Iran. They're fighting over there. Turkey at the same time also is receiving the same threat, feeling like, no, if they don't protect their territories, things will get more worse. So guys, now you understand why Julius Malema, he could not support Israel, but instead he preferred to support Palestine, because there is something which is hiding behind all this Israel war and Palestine. And the main reasons, or the mastermind behind all this, it is the US, who are being their mission in that regions. And as long they have not achieved their missions, I'm telling you that nothing good is gonna happen. I'm telling you that no one's gonna even have a chance to understand exactly who's benefiting from all this and who's winning from it. Because you see now that they went in, they keep on killing innocent people, they keep on killing children and women. Guys, you should see the image that are coming over there. The image are very touching, I'm telling you. And yet America on the other side is quiet. Quiet. They're not talking about it. Like they don't even want to talk anything. The whole thing that they spoke about all these matters is, it was when they had to remind people of Palestinians and Israel on which side they are positioning themselves. Positioning themselves. So as long they have not achieved their mission, I don't think they'll tell Israel to stop this war. And for that reason, someone as Julius Malema or any other African leaders, they have understand that no, we can't stand for this. We can't allow these people to keep on doing whatsoever pleases them. When it is that they turn, they have to do whatsoever they like to do, like feeling like doing. But when it is about African business, then they are not even there. So now it is more clear why these African countries, they are distancing themselves from all this war that's happening in Palestine. Instead, they're trying even to put money together so that they'll support victims of Palestinians that have lost their family over there. Guys, thank you so much. I believe that to be all for tonight. Again, before you leave, make sure that you hit the like button. We really do appreciate your presence here each and every time that you come here. You guys, as you can see, that there's some changing around, because we are on holidays and trying to take breaks, so we are not in our studio, and that is the reason why you see that we are not even in the suit, because we are just in our relaxing mode, and we are just making this live because we just want to keep you informed. We want you to not mislead, to not be misled by any other medias out there. So we just want to make sure that we are here, we're discussing with you everything. Thank you, Alicia McQueen. Alicia McQueen, she is one of our big followers and always supporting us. So guys, you too, if you feel like you want to support us, whether it is financially, whether it is with your subscribe or whatsoever, you are feel free to do so. We really do appreciate you. Okay. So thank you so much, Dorothy Branch. She said, I don't know whether it's a man or woman, but saying that I'm looking just fine. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, again, as I was saying that we just want at least to be having this time, like, we talk, we engage in a different conversation about what is happening around the world, especially, um, um, thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Alicia. Especially about what is happening in Africa. So we'll get in touch with you again in the next hours, depending on what we'll bring for you as the next topic. But for now, guys, please, I just want to ask you for a favor. Take good care of yourself. Yeah, we are year end, and a lot of bad things are happening out there. We need you here. So please, in whatsoever you are doing, just make sure that you take good care of yourself and be safe in everything that you are doing, so that your loved ones can be able to uh, pass a good moment with you during this festive time. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next coming hours. Ciao, ciao.